Assalamualaikum. Today in this video I'm gonna show my coding that has been given from lab 5, that is pointer, in the assignment that or lab sheet that you have given. Before we do that, my name is Muhammad Shafiq bin Akmal Aziz from 1BEEE. From the lab sheet that have been given, the lab sheet is about pointer. And what is pointer is all about? Okay, a pointer in C language is variable that store or points the address of another variable. A pointer in C is used to allocate memory dynamic at runtime. The pointer variable might be belonging to any data type such as integer, float, character, double, short, and etc. But commonly, the programmer is not use this pointer a lot because it's kind of difficult, because we can just like directly use directly that we want, but the pointer is like kind of do twice the work, because we're gonna declare the numbers, and we're going to point that out. So for programmer it's quite messy, and they do a lot of work, so they don't use a lot. But right, back to the video. I'm gonna show you how the line by line that you asking us to do it. The first line is include stdio, is just a header, so like a normal header. And the second one is integer add. Integer add is for adding additional, and void swap is for swapping the numbers that we have. That for example, if we have a 2-digit numbers, and for one of them is integer x and second is integer y, and then what these functions do is we swap the numbers with x and y to x. That's what the integer decrement is integer y. We call it integer y because decrement is like decreasing. So whatever number that we give, like such as we put it 5, and then what these functions do is we subtract one of them, because see, y is minus y1. So the function is if we get 5, and then the output that we have is 4, because it's decreasing down. Integer increment is increasing the numbers by 1, adding adding 1 in the numbers. If we put it the number at 6, for example, and then we put it, and then the output will be 6. If we put it 6, and then the numbers will be 7. Integer, this is the integer main for like, and then integer number 1, number 2, temp, and temp2 is for declaration. Integer result 1 also declaration, integer result 2 also declaration. Printf is the output that we gonna see shortly in the output console. And the scanf is they have a 2-digit number there, %d. First %d is number 1, and the second one is number 2. What it do is when we do the output, we have to put 2-digit number. And the first number is going to be number 1, and the second number is going to be number 2. And then the printf number 1, this is just output, and then we change the temp to equal to number 1. What this do is we change the number 1. We just change the name, actually the call out name. So actually it's still the same. If we call, and then such as like add number, we put it add number 1, number 2. See, number 1 is temp 1, and number 2 is temp 2, because in the scanf we put it number 1, number 2, right? So this function is for additional. So what it do is just we call out we already put the function inside this coding, and what this do is we just call out we just print out the two additional number that we put. We put the scanf, right, number 1 and number 2, and then what this do is just adding number 1 and number 2. And swap is for we just swapping the number 1 and number 2. But in this situation, the value of number 1 and number 2 after swap number 1 is, for example, we put 5 in number 1 and 6 to number 2. And then what is do is they're swapping the numbers. Number 1's and then the value number 1 before increment is before number 1 is 5, right? Number 1. After we do it, it's going to be 6 because we're swapping number 1 to number 2, number 2 to number 1. The increment is for increasing the number. For example, if we put 5 to the number 1, like this one, temp, we put it at number 1. So at number 1 we put it 5. After the output will be 6 because this is increment, so that the output will be increase. So increase or adding +1 because we put the function over there up here is +1. Same as decrement. Decrement is just we put it -1. Decrement is like decreasing number. If we put it 6 on the number on the scanf number 1, it will be actually number 2 in this situation, and then the number will be 5. 6 minus 1, the output will be -1, and that's it gonna be 5, and the return is to end the coding over there. I think that's all for today. Thanks for watching.